What's going on, guys and gals? My name is Mr. Moose, and today we are back at the garage with a little more Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Alright, so in our last video we wrapped up on work on our Ford Raptor project, which of course in the game is known as the Castor Earthquake Rex. But of course, you know, you can look at it, you can tell what they're going after. Anyways, at the end of the day, our total car value was $216,969. And since we only paid $104,000 for it in the auction house, we stand to make a pretty good profit when we sell it off, especially since as a 3-star, most all of the parts that were on it repaired up, and it was for the most part a complete truck. So we had very few parts that we had to buy for it. So as the way I see it, we probably make about $90,000 when we sell this truck. So pretty good deal for us. But anyways, so that's where we were. This is where we are. We're going to continue on with the Ford theme, and we're going to pull a mod in off the forums. This is Deadbob777 and his 1975 Ford Bronco, which is a sweet little car. The 75 Bronco is probably like, for Bronco enthusiasts, it's probably like one of the best models. It was a very cool little truck or off-road utility vehicle when it came out. Of course, the Bronco was Ford's answer to Jeep and International Harvester Scout. Wow, look at the detail in here. It's got battery cables over here, some modules up on the firewall. The steering yoke is actually modeled in here. There's a reservoir for your coolant. Oh, very nice. Or would that be washer fluid? I would think that would be the coolant box. Take a little extra coolant in if you sucked it in there. Yeah, very cool though. Nice to see some modeling in the engine bay, other than just the engine booster and battery and radiator. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat that he's got that in there. So he's got the V8 in it. This truck would have come with the i6 in it. I think it had a 200 cubic liter engine in it as an i6, but it did have like a 302 that was an option for it. So I can go with there being a V8 in it. Don't think it would have had a 4-banger or a set of 4-bangers on it, but I think it would just had a 2-barrel carb on it. But I guess we can say this one's been beefed up a little bit. It does have a brush guard on it, some lights, got a roll cage on the inside of it. So somebody's overhauled it a little bit. Look at that big, huge Speedo like would have been on it. Oh, yeah. And if it's true to, you know, like a 75, an old 75 that's wore out, you'll have to start spinning the steering wheel about 5 miles before you need to make a turn, because the 75 still had a 6-turn steering box in it instead of a 4-turn. They updated that in 76 on them. So anyways, that's gonna be our project car today. Now we got it in the auction house. The AI was cruel to me. They ran me up to $20,000 on it. But it only is worth about $17,000, which, you know, it's frustrating because you take this perk in Experienced Auctioneer, which is this one right here, and it shows you what the price is once you start bidding on it up in the upper right-hand corner, and you can see how much it's worth. But, you know, it's like, I want the car, especially since it's a 2-star, right? So as a 2-star, it should be mostly complete, and we should be able to build it up and get a lot of profit out of it. But the AI jacked me on the price and ran me up to $20,000. So I was a little shocked on that one. But anyways, what do you do? Because I wanted to build it so badly, I had to take what I could get. I mean, I was excited when I saw it was a 2-star, because the bidding started out at like $5,000. But yeah, it quickly escalated. All right, so anyways, since we got this out of the auction house, let's go ahead and see if there's any oil in it, and we'll try to get the oil out. Hit the button. Nothing. No oil. All right, well, that was a waste of time. go get the engine hoist, move it into place. That's a button there. And then we'll go ahead and start pulling the rest of the car apart. So we'll start with the drive shaft as normal, and we'll go from there. So again, this is a modded vehicle. This is not part of the stock game. If you want to get it, you have to go into the Steam forums and go into the modding discussion to get it. Wait a minute. Anybody see something missing here? Oh, we got a problem, Houston. I did say it was a 75 Bronco, right? I mean, let me go look in the discussions real quick and verify this. Hang on. All right, we're back. Huh. So I went and looked in the discussion just to verify that I got the right mod. It is a 75 Bronco, but it says it's rear-wheel drive. So what is this thing, out of South America or what? Because domestically here in the States, and it has a South Dakota tag on it, domestically in the States, there wouldn't have been a two-wheel drive version of this car. Unless it was like something for the post office. There was a right-hand drive version for the post office done up, but for a Bronco, but not a 70. I mean, if you're going for 75, it would have been a four-wheel drive. Because one of the big reasons the 75 is sought after is it has a different front chunk in it. The differential is a Dana 44 instead of the Dana 30. And that's one of the reasons people liked it so much, is because it had that big, huge, beefy front differential in it. I'm a little confused here. I thought for a second maybe I downloaded like a Bronco 2 or something, but you know, because Bronco 2 didn't come out until the 80s. I think 83. That would have had a front wheel drive or a two-wheel drive version in it, but not the Bronco. I think I'm pretty much correct on that. Somebody in the forum or in discussions will completely blast me if I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure the Bronco, as listed as a Bronco, would have had a front wheel, would have had four-wheel drive on it, and not two-wheel drive. Now again, I know there were some exported versions of it that were two-wheel drive that went over to, you know, like Asia and South America. Not South America, but Africa. But I mean, I would think we're going after the classic American 75. If you're you know, specifically modeling a 75 Bronco, which is like one of the most sought after Broncos for Bronco collectors, I would have thought you would be modeling a four-wheel drive version of it. Again, I could be wrong. I could be completely mistaken on this, but memory serves me correctly. It's a four-wheel drive. Anyways, well, I'm a little disappointed in that. That's not what I expected to be building today. I thought I'd be building a four-wheel drive. Oh well, we'll just pretend. Again, it's customized, maybe. Maybe it's a custom. Oh well. Like I said, I don't want to... I'm no expert on them. But I'm pretty sure that was the case. There's got to be somebody who watches this goes, "No, you're wrong!" Or somebody will completely vilify me on it and say, "Yep, you're right." One way or the other, we'll get the answer. Someone will come up and go, "Yeah, you're wrong," as usual. I don't know. I have to be honest with you. I'm not a Bronco guy. I was an international guy. Well, I was in love with Jeeps, but I had an international. Until I was older, the international was my truck. My dad had one, and I absolutely loved it. You just couldn't sink that thing. It was just a monster, the International Scout. Now, when I got old, I always wanted a Jeep. I wanted a CJ, like either a CJ5 or a CJ7. And my dad actually had a CJ7 for a while, but when I was young, he got blown off the side of the road by an 18-wheeler in it one day, and it actually rolled on him. And after that, he would never let me have a CJ because they were so unstable on the road. And that was what I wanted one for, was drive to school and stuff like that. So he wouldn't let me have one. Of course, I saved up my money and bought one day, and he got really pissed off at me. As long as you live under my house and under my roof, you follow my rules, you can't drive that truck. Only time he ever let me drive it was we could trailer it to go hunting, and then I could drive it there. But other than that, I was not allowed to drive that thing on the road. Ended up just selling it. And then he gave me his international. He let me drive that thing. It was like a tank. Couldn't stick it, and it was just, if you hit something, something was getting broken. All right, we broke a couple of things here, so let's see what we ended up destroying. All right, so we got front shock absorbers on this one, not the double wishbone suspension. Let's see. We've got brake calipers, brake cylinders, vented disc brakes on it. What? See, this should have front drums. 75 was the last year they had drum brakes on this truck. But I guess if you don't put the four-wheel drive axle in the front, you kind of have to do the disc brakes on this. You got to have an axle in order to do brake drums on it. Maybe it's a limitation of the modeling and everything like that too. You know, I got to give the guy some credit. I mean, his model looks good. But yeah, it should have, this should have front disc, or it should have drums on the front. All right, so anyways, let's look. Brake caliper's good, cylinders are good, disc, we need pads as always. The dust covers are good. One of the steering knuckles is bad, so we need a knuckle A. Cross member is good, front sway bar. Wheel hubs, inner tie rods, outer tie rods, we got to replace. The lower suspension arms are good. Since we're using front shock absorber on it as a, as a strut assembly, we should have 8 bushings that we need to buy. We need the in-link A's. Steering rack is good. Hubs and caps, we need to buy those too. So, all right, into the store we go to buy parts. Go to suspension, and the first thing we'll come to is these, 2 of those, 2 of these, 2 of those, 1 of those, 1 of these. Go through all that. Tie rods, outer tie rod. What else did we need? Sway bar. I got. Oh, we need the end links. 2 of these. 8 of those. Not 9, just 8. 2 of these. 2 of those. And then under brakes, we were good there, good there. We need 2 of these and 2 of those. Yeah, I think if you were able to put a coil front, maybe they don't make one. I don't know. Maybe the ones that they use on the Olsen in the game didn't work for this. Maybe that's the reason he did it as a rear-wheel drive. I'm not sure, you know. And like I said, I don't want to beat up on the modder because they do really good stuff that I don't do, so I can't beat up on them too much. But there are going to be those who will watch this video, and the moment they see that this thing doesn't have four-wheel drive on it, they're going to be the same as me, and they're going to be like, what's wrong? You know what I mean? I mean, everybody who watches the Corvette video who is an enthusiast is just ripping the Corvette. And they're constantly I'm getting messages, well, this is stupid, man. It's got the distributor in the front. It's a Ford engine. The hood's mounted wrong. I get that. I get those comments maybe 3 a day. So, you got to keep an open mind that it is a game, and the modeler is modding within the constraints of the game. So again, maybe it was just something he couldn't model because of the game limitations. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that, But then again, I could be completely wrong. Like I said, I make mistakes. I'm not an official car historian. I just know what I know from experience. And if I recall correctly, I do believe all the Broncos were four-wheel drives. Because I know some enthusiasts who will collect it because a two-wheel drive Bronco is a rarity. Because they were made as an exported version. But the true 75 Bronco that is so highly sought after as far as for Bronco enthusiast, it's a four-wheel drive. Alright, so let's go ahead and put that lower suspension in there. Oh, gotta put that shock absorber on there. And like I said, if this was an 80s model Bronco 2, now it would have had a two-wheel drive variant because it was offered as a more, in the 80s they rechanged all of the Broncos, and they went to the O.J. Simpson style full-size Bronco, and then you had the mid-size Bronco 2, and the mid-size Bronco 2 was more economical and it was sportier and went after families, and they had two-wheel drive versions on it for those who wanted to look like they off-roaded but didn't really. Yeah. But this thing was all business. In 75, if you bought a Bronco, you were buying it for off-roading or working on the farm, or working in the north, you needed it for plowing or something else like that. I mean, it was no nonsense. It was you bought it for a reason, You didn't buy it because, oh, that's a cute truck. Let's buy that. You bought it because you needed it. It wasn't like today where, people buy four-wheel drive this and that, and they never take them off-road. But I got a four-wheel drive. Why'd you get a four-wheel drive? I don't know. I thought I might want to, take it, across a little batch of dirt at some point, and, or on the freakish event that it might snow once in my lifetime. I got four-wheel drive. Oh, back then, if you bought a four-wheel drive, you bought it because you were hunting or you was working in a situation where you needed four-wheel drive. All right, let's get this off of there. Because back in the day, if you bought a four-wheel drive, you also, you know, sacrifice comfort, because the ride in a four-wheel drive in the 70s sucked. Oh, they were terrible. No, they didn't have comfort suspension in them. Nope. They were like riding a box. They would beat you to death. Alright, let's get the fuel pump out. Let's get the fuel tank off of it. And we'll go over here and see what we repair up. I like to do a little bit of research. See if I can figure that one out. All right. Inventory. All of it. All right, so we can get rid of these now. Why do I have two pairs of them? Interesting. I must have forgotten to take something out from another build. All right, let's see. Drums are bad. See, I don't agree with not being able to repair these either. These, you should be able to turn the drums. If they're you know, 40% condition or whatever, you'd probably be able to turn them. And we're gonna go ahead and get rid of the, I know this is gonna drive y'all nuts, I'm gonna get rid of the brake shoes. As I've said before, I couldn't repair brake shoes in real life, so I'm not gonna repair them in the game. I'm gonna take that stand. I'm gonna kneel down for brake pads and brake shoes. All right, so we're gonna need drums, shoes, wheel cylinders are good. Then when we come down, we need a fuel tank. Leaf springs are good. We need one plate. Our U-bolts are good. Our drive axle is good. These can be deleted. Knuckle housings are good. We're gonna need shock absorber Bs. We'll need 6 small bushings. We're good with our axles. And our wheel hubs are good. That's good news. Really, all we need is the leaf spring plate and the bushings. I'll take that all day. Into the store we go. All right, so we need 2 of these, 2 of those, and then we'll go suspension. And oh yeah, we need the rear shock absorbers too. We need 1 plate, and I need 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should be it, right? I think so. All right, let's put it back together. In goes the axle. And let's try not to screw this up this time. So we'll go ahead and put 1 leaf spring in. We'll put our rubber bushing in on this side. We'll put our rubber bushing in on this side. There we go. And then we're immediately going to go to the U-bolts. Put the plate in. There we go. Put the U-bolts on. There we go. And do that side over here. All right. Then we're going to move to the other side. And we're going to do it. I would probably not make as many mistakes if I just went through and built one side at a time, instead of, you know, coming over here and doing this side next. Like, you know, I was hanging it in real life, but you know, I want to do things more logically. I don't want to just do things, go through the motions. I want to role play it. I want to do it up like I would do it. And so some people don't get that, but that's just the way I am. All right, so both of those are done. Like I said, I probably would make a lot less mistakes, but I just like, I like the immersion factor of it. I like trying to do things in a manner that would be more realistic. All right, come over here. Let's work on this side. Put that shock absorber in. Then we can put the housing in. And the hub. And the axle. And one cylinder. And we didn't buy the fuel tank, did we? Let's get the fuel tank real quick. And then we'll focus on repairing out the rims and getting some new rubber on it and all that good stuff. Excellent. So that much is built out. Now we got to go separate the tires and the rims. And we'll have ourselves a rolling vehicle again. As I said in my video the other day, I really do wish you could take the body off the chassis and then just build the chassis out itself. And as far as the body goes, the welder, I wish the welder didn't fix all the body panels on it, you know? I wish the welder was for the frame and the, you know, the rest of it was all you with Bondo. And a, you know, and a wire brush and everything. You know, I guess the welder is by doing the... All right, let me rephrase that because that can be a little confusing. I wish the welder didn't do the exterior body panels. Like all this back in here. I wish it didn't do that. I wish it just did like frame and maybe the inside of it, like on your floor pans and stuff. I mean, that's what you'd be welding that out. And I guess if you had a really bad section back here, you'd cut it out and hang a piece of metal on there if you could, you know, find it. And then you do the rest of the work with your Bondo and everything. But I don't know, there's got to be a better way to do the body. But being able to separate the body off of the car would be uber cool. Oh wait, I gotta look at my inventory first there, moron. Let's see what we ended up with on our rims. All of them are good. That's great. 15-inch rims on this. 190 80 15s is the tire. So let's go into the shop and buy some new ones. Off-road 15s. 190, which we're not going to be able to do. So we'll widen them out a little bit. 195s is what we'll go with. And the profile on it was an 80. You need 4 of these. Yeah, the series on these doesn't, the width on them doesn't go in like increments of 5. It goes in 10s. So you're either doing a 195 or a 185. You can't do a 190. You can do it when you're modeling the car, like in the car builder. But you can't do it in here. So we'll go a little bit wider tires. That's one of the things I've always hated about the Broncos of old was the tires on them. They always seem too narrow for me. The manufacturer always put them out with those little dinky tires on them, and they just didn't look wide enough for me. guess all the manufacturers do that. They're too afraid they'll get sued if somebody hydroplanes. Oh, they had too wide of a tire on there. They hydroplaned and, you know. Gotta be super safe. Alright, so that is all of those. Just a matter of balancing them out now and getting them back on the car. And then we'll be ready to tackle the motor, which we've done many a times. Ah, come on. Get a little happy with the escape button there. Game needs better tires than these Barbie tires. I know we're rehashing the fact that we said that on the truck as well, but come on, these tires, they look like cheapo model car tires instead of like real tires. You know, like RC cars, some good RC cars will come with knobby tires and they'll be soft rubber tires. You know, the kind that when you throw them down on the ground, they would go, you know, when they hit the ground. Whereas these would have some sort of cracking plastic sound. Chink. Why am I not putting this? What am I doing here? Man, I need another cup of coffee. I hate the menu in this game. I think I see that in every video. I hate this menu. Boom. All right, there we go. We've got rolling stock now. The undercarriage is working out pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and jump in here and take these out. Go ahead and get everything in the engine compartment done. Yeah, radiator A. Let's go ahead and get those repaired up. So far, we've been doing pretty good on parts repair. If the same holds out for the engine, we'll get out of this one without having to do too much work. Which is the nice thing about getting a car out of the auction house versus the junkyard. Pretty much everything's gonna be broken when you get it out of the junkyard, and the engine, you know, is gonna be missing a ton of parts on it. Whereas if you get it out of the auction house, even at a 2-star, most of the stuff is repairable. So that's the, you know, nice thing about it. And I'm so glad they did fix the auction house to where now it's got the variety of 2- and 3-star cars in there versus everything being a 4-star, because that was sort of a bum deal there. If only we could get the AI not to be as aggressive, or to have a little variation in it. All right, so that's going to get all of that taken care of. Tomorrow we will start with the motor, and we will build it out. Then we'll do the body work, get the muffler on it and everything, and see how she turns out. Plus we'll have a little bit of fun painting her up. See what kind of paint scheme we can do with it. But anyways, that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, help me out by hitting that like button, share the video with your friends, comment down below, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And I will try to continue to get these videos out for you on a daily basis. All right, thanks for coming out today. Yeah, and of course, if you are a Bronco aficionado, let me know. Am I right on that, or am I wrong on that? Like I said, I know there were some European like exports that Ford did in the 70s that were 2-wheel drive variants. And I know they did a right-hand drive postal vehicle that would have been a 2-wheel drive. But other than that, I can't think of a domestic Bronco that would have been released in the 70s that would have been a 2-wheel drive. Not until they got to the Bronco 2s. But if I'm wrong on that, I'm wrong on that. But all right. Thanks for watching, guys. Have yourself a great day. See you later. God bless. Bye-bye.